What is up, everybody? It's your boy Heffa Tanks, and I got another video for you guys. Another monster tank review, to be exact. Before I get into that, though, you guys can probably notice the quality of my video isn't up to par. I had to get new editing software, and it's just I'm trying to work out some bugs. It's not letting me put in my 4K videos into it. Anyway, I'm working the problem, and hopefully you guys will have better quality videos in the foreseeable future. But for now, I need to get this video to you guys because time is of the essence. These tanks are available to earn, so I want you guys to know exactly what tank you want to get. So, today, we're focusing on the Death Chariot. In the off right now, the Death Chariot is the top tier tank that you can unlock, so it's literally all your marbles. So I want you guys to know exactly what you're getting into, because I don't want you all wasting your points if you don't like the tank. Let's get straight into its Awoken Powers, because I'm going to start using them here. So, one has one Awoken Power, pretty much. It has ATGM missiles, 2 different missiles you can switch between. Now these missiles, there's 2 types. There's the singular big skull on the top that does like 700 alpha damage, and then there's the 5 mini skulls that do 300 each. So there are 2 differences also between, not just including the alpha damages, but the big skull is a fire and forget homing missile. So you have to be looking at the enemy, and you gotta place your red dot, and once that red dot is placed on their vehicle, you no longer have to look at that tank. You can look away, fire the gun in a different direction, and that missile will go where you aimed that red circle. I will show you that in a little bit. The 5 little skulls have a small alpha of 300, and they have a faster inner clip obviously than the skull. The skull doesn't have an inner clip. And the 5 little skulls, you have to aim manually, no matter what. They are not a fire and forget missile like the big skull right here. Here's a quick clip of the 5 little skulls and me firing them. And if you're in a tight space, your left skull, your far left skull, or your far right skull is going to connect on debris. It does not, it hangs out over the side of the tank, and it shoots straight, so they will hit objects. It's not like the first skull in the front. So just look at this and you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll see the first skull connects just fine, went straight out the front, but the far left skull connects with the barrier right there. So you just gotta keep that in mind. It's another thing that's gonna happen with this tank. So those are the main differences between the 2 different skulls. I don't really show the skulls off too well in this gameplay because it was very new to me when this came out, and I don't even think missiles were in Cold War at this point. So and if they were, I didn't play Cold War, so I was all new to the missile game, and I definitely didn't use this tank to its full capacity, but that's neither here nor there. Let's get into the goods and bads of this tank. We're going to start with the bads because the list is quite extensive. So we'll start with the gun. The gun is not very good. Its aim time is horrible. Its reload is horrible. Its gun handling is not good. So just everything about the gun is pretty bad except for its alpha damage. Also, when you're shooting these sights, since they sort of are flat and spin, it's not like a traditional shell where you pinpoint, you know exactly where your shell is going to go. It's a pinpoint spot. The sights sort of just spin around, and it's sort of hard to judge at distance to hit a target. But you get used to it, honestly. The track repair speed in this tank is also really bad. And with all these little specters and light tanks running around, you can definitely get permatracked, especially if there's multiple different light tanks around. Okay, here, I just want to take a moment here to look at this. So I have the big skull equipped, well, after I bounce off of him. So I'm going to post that red dot on there, and I'm going to look away. I've looked away, and now he's dead. So that shows that it is a fire and forget missile as long as you place that red circle where you want it to go. Okay, back to the bad things, because there's more, sadly. When you're face hugging a tank that's smaller than you or shorter than you, and you have the skulls activated, the skulls will fly right over their tank. So you don't want to use the skulls if they're face hugging you and they're smaller than you. Now that we're done roasting this tank, let's go over what's good with this tank. There's only one thing that I can really think of, well, 2 things. Is one, the armor on this tank is actually really good. It does hold up very well side scraping, and you do have some spaced armor on the side. And the frontal armor is also really well angled and really good. You'll see here in a second, because I'm going to start getting shredded from multiple angles, and the tank, it just takes it. Next pro of this tank is, I would say, is that big homing missile skull on the top. The 5 little ones is a little bit like iffy because you have to manually aim them and it takes time, but that big skull on the top is nice because you could fire and forget and switch to your other primary AP ammo and shoot while that skull is doing its own thing. There's also the hilarity factor that when you fire that homing skull, you just hear it screaming the entire way. So if you're on the battlefield and someone shoots a homing skull past you, all you hear is like a loud skull. It gets loud, it gets loud, it gets loud, and then it gets quiet, and you just hear it pass right past you. It's pretty funny. I've got most of the stuff I want to say out of the way. I'll give a couple more bits at the end, but I just want you guys to focus on the gameplay right now because it's gonna start getting hectic right now. It is really hard to third-person aim these shells, but like I missed with that shell and it still did a lot of damage to that guy. But you can just see all of the shells coming into me right now, and I am bouncing some, my tracks are absorbing some. If they're auto-aiming onto you, they're gonna really struggle on penning you. So don't auto-aim this tank, because you're gonna bounce off the upper plate and you're gonna bounce off the side of it as well. I finished that guy off, still getting bounces off the side. Actually, I don't even think they're bounces, they're just he's barely doing any damage to me. That's just what Spectres do. I know that that is an actual an actual Craft Panther there, and so he finishes me off. But I survived way longer than I should have survived in that location because of its armor. Overall, I think it's a good tank, but its reload and its gun handling really hold it back from being a great tank. I feel in a 1v1 situation, this tank is going to be really well, especially against heavier tanks like a Gorniche or a Kaiju or something, because then you can just fire all 5 of your little missiles at him, and you can do a lot of damage to them that way. But when this thing starts to be attacked by multiple different sides, by especially light tanks, it sort of does struggle. So I do want to get more gameplay of this tank and try it out a little bit more this season of the Halloween mode, and maybe I'll have a different point of view about it. And if so, I will make a new video or come and change this one or whatever, but stay tuned for those videos. If you guys enjoyed what you saw today, do me a favor and ammo rack the like and subscribe button. And also, if you want to be notified when I get another video posted, you go ahead and ammo rack that bell as well, you guys. I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Hopefully I'll have all of my stuff straightened out, and hopefully it'll be in beautiful colors again, 4K. But for now, just bear with me, you guys. I'm trying to get it worked out. Alrighty, toodles.